I still remember doing that North Carolina seminar, and the guys were snoring while they were awake. I'll never forget that. I remember looking, like, you know, like, blah, 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 blah.
I think they call that walking apnea.
And they're looking right at me, and I'm like, oh, boy.
We can always have a few, man. It's
Dave told me, hey, dude, some guy told me, like, he's going to kill you. He's going to kick your ass. I'm like, what? He's like, you said something rude to him, dude. I was like, who? He's like, I don't know. I don't see him here, but he's here. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm getting my ass kicked. I love getting, it was no one there. He was just busting my balls. It was awesome. I knew it wasn't the snoring guys.
No, it's... Yeah, the seminars were, man.
Oh, my God. There was, I think, 2 or 3 of those guys in the group, and at least 2 were snoring. I mean, there was 3 guys, I think. But that was amazing. Like,
there are always a couple sleepers, though, because they were only there for the training stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, fuck this training. You know, they're not interested in the conjugate.
Yeah, right.
They just want to fucking squat.
Yeah.
You know, so they just, like, sleep through that shit. And
well, I don't think they meant to.
well, I don't think so either, but we
More
were
of a
asking a
systemic
lot.
response.
I loved those North Carolina seminars were great. I loved going there.
Was that like the first ones that you guys did together? Or
it was probably fairly. It was well, Jeff Connors. He's not.
Oh, you're talking that one. That's different. Yeah, I know. That was crazy, man, because we do these seminars, right? Most of them were bootstrapped. And that's assuming we had boots. Most of them were like just sandals. It was, we're sharing hotel rooms with no fucking heat, air conditioning, and sleeping in fucking people's houses that are hosting.
I feel like a punk band just starting out.
Yeah. So literally we would go from that and like sharing a fucking cheeseburger at McDonald's at the airport to the next week being in University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Beautiful.
And be like,
beautiful.
And we're like, I'm sitting there the whole time like, how the fuck do I get here?
I'm way too sweaty for this building.
Every seminar. Because this I slept under a fucking deer head last week in somebody's bedroom.
Fucking flies.
You know,
it was recently cut.
Yeah, crazy, man. The dude dude and his wife slept on his couch so I could sleep in their bed, which was weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Then the next
kid
week
goes in
like,
there and snuggles.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the lounge and make your sandwich or whatever. Like, like, we eat? Like, yeah, I eat.
I can have crazy. 2 pieces of bread?
Different worlds, man. It's like, nah, we're just the fucking power lifters here. But
so which one was if you had to look back, which ones were your absolute favorite? I know you'd say North Carolina ones, but like what were the ones that you really just remember the absolute most?
Well, what I remember the most? Well, because he had the shits horrible. Because I took him out to eat to this place I always ate, and he fucking was miserable. The one that I'll never forget, and I think it was in Virginia.
Oh no!
And
how are you gonna tell? How are we gonna tell this without?
It doesn't matter. Fucking care.
Who cares? All right.
I'm not on the school board.
We've already got 100. We're good.
Oh, okay.
I think that was there. Anyway, to make a long story short, the way we used to do the seminars was you would call us up and say, hey, I'd like to have you guys for a seminar, and you would collect all the money. So the onus would be on you, all that other good stuff. So we flew there, and he's like, listen, we got to stop by our house to, I'll get you the money, or whatever it was. It was money and something else. So we go to the house, and he's like, go have a seat. I'll go get the money, or whatever it was. And we're sitting on the couch, and this lady walks out in like her fucking bathrobe. And she's like, hey, and then she just kept on walking.
It wasn't a bathrobe. It was a giant sundress.
Yeah.
Just think, how can I say this?
She was just out of the shower, though.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
so, and she's like, I don't even have my face on. And then so she like, it's like a.
She had to be 60-something.
So yeah, hold on, you just ruined the joke.
No, I
know.
Go.
So it's like an apparition, like, with flowing robe. And you're like, oh my God. And it was so uncomfortable. I don't know anything. I'm just happy. Like, I could tell you another story too about Dave leaving me out the fucking dry with another guy. That was in Chicago.
Making a note of that one.
But anyway, so she goes and walks through, and I look at Dave, I'm like, he lives with his mom? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't know. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, she's just walking through here in her nightgown and all. And then he comes out, the guy comes out and gives Dave the money or whatever it was. And
oh my God.
we're talking, and she comes out, and he's like, hey. And this guy must have been late 20s, early 30s. His wife might have been 60 years old. And he's like, you meet my wife? And I was like, no, God, keep it in, Wendler. Don't look at Dave. Don't look at Dave. Keep it in. Don't look at Dave. And I was like, yeah, guess I did.
That was one of those things when you walk out of the house.
Yeah.
The dude's still with us, right? And so it's like under your breath as slightly as I could to Jim. I'm just like,
you saw that, right?
And it wasn't even that. It was just like, dude. It was just like a simple dude. And it was just like, you couldn't, it's going to pass. It's like the hiccups, man. I want to laugh so bad. But it's going to pass.
It could have been his grandma. That's what it was.
The ghost of erections past.
Yeah, it was just such an odd, because she just like floated by and she's like, hey, and it was like,
floated by.
I don't even have any makeup on. I was like, I don't know if that's the fucking problem here.
Don't step on your tit.
Another one. We had a mutual friend in Arizona, and I'll never forget this. He picked us up at the airport, and I had not known him when I was there, but he trained at the same gym. He was just like got there 3 months after I had left Arizona. And he's the kind of guy that within 2 minutes, everyone was like, he's a very friendly guy. He'd bust your balls, you'd bust him right. He was like best friends forever. And he was driving us. This was in Tucson, and he says, yeah, I've been clean and stuff. I haven't taken any drugs. I feel pretty good. And we're talking. Then like 10 minutes later, he's like, he mentions he's taking 500 milligrams of test a week. And I'm like, I won't say his name. I said, dude, I thought you said you were clean. He's like, oh, come on, man. 500 milligrams is clean. But he kept on driving like, what are you, an idiot? And then we went out to a bar that we used to always go to. I'll never forget this. Some lady, girl, I should say, she was probably in her 20s or something, came up to me, and it was a small dive bar, and music was really loud. And you ever hear the music just happened to go off and everyone got real quiet? It's like a weird, it happens in lunchrooms all the time.
Right.
It's not planned. Right before it got quiet, she's like, are you going to buy me a drink? And I was like, as soon as it just went down, like, honey, your ass is way too fat for me to buy you a drink. And, or way too fat to have an attitude like that. And everyone, it's like the record scratch, turned around, and she was so mad. And I was like, oh, no, honey, your ass is way too fat for that attitude. Buy you a drink, please.
There was one that's, God, there's a lot of them. There's one that, the seminar part, and I believe it was probably one of Jim's first ones that he did. Because I knew going into it, I wasn't doing shit. So here's this. It
was the Florida one. Is that what you're talking about?
It was a church. All I know is it was a church.
That was, yes.
And all I was thinking is that I was trying not to put two things together.
How did you not get set on fire just like by
Well, that was my first concern.
It was
like,
not in a church,
weird.
Dave. It was the basement.
It was the basement of a church, right? So it was
count.
That whole trip, right, was a weird one with that. But he wanted to go off script, right? Where I had my slides, right? So
right.
I wanted him to keep using my slides 2 more times because as I was going, I didn't do shit. I just sat in the back and I wrote the 8 keys that's on Teenage.
He was the one snoring.
I needed him to say what he was saying because I was writing it.
Yeah.
Right. So I had the slide right
Jim,
here.
Could you go back to that thing about the bench?
I wasn't done yet.
How many?
Yes.
3 grips.
It's like he's doing that and I'm typing and I'm like, man, just one more time, man. And then it was maybe the 3rd time or whatever. He's like, just fuck it, it just didn't use it. And this one was like, well, this works way better when you don't use slides. You just tell them what to do.
Yep.
It knocks half the time out. But the church one was I'm like, this is going to be an interesting one here. It didn't burn down.
I remember that one. There's like, if I remember correct, there was like desks, like school desks people sat in. And I remember Dave was way in the back. He's causing trouble. Boo!
Yep.
Wendler eats dick. No, like to be the bad kid, throwing spitball. Passing notes. Can I read that out to the whole class? No.
So what is this left you out to dry thing?
Well, I'm gonna
edit.
I was in Kentucky at the time, living in Kentucky, and Dave was in Ohio, and we said, hey, we're gonna do a seminar. We're gonna meet at the guy's house prior, like the night before, and we'll all go out there.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that one.
So
God, he's dead.
and Eddie Coan was there. Mm-hmm. So
Uncle Eddie.
Yeah. So I get there first because my parents live in Illinois, live around that area. So I stayed at my parents' house, and then I just drove to this guy's house. And I don't know what, Dave is actually driving from Ohio, so it's not like he's driving 20 miles away and like, I'll meet you here at 8:30. It was, a bigger chunk of, between 8 and 10 or something, whatever it was. So I get there, and I'm there for an hour by myself. An hour with the biggest blowhard you've ever seen in your life. And if anyone doesn't know a blowhard, they just fucking love to hear themselves talk and tell you how great they are and what an expert they are. He showed me, and he's giant house. I mean, it's a giant house. And it was one thing after another.
Oh my God.
About how great he was. And I'm like I never judged you on how you lifted. Like, I'm all right, just are you a good dude? And I'm like, I don't care about any of not one thing did I care about what you've told me, because it was all about how good he was, and he had his own trophy room. Oh, yeah, that's how big this house was. So anyway, the doorbell rings, and I'm like, there is a God. I repented everything I've ever said, and it was Eddie Coan, and I hadn't known Eddie for very long, but I think enough where I'm like, and anyway, this guy's house we're staying at, his young daughter came downstairs or something. She might have been 10 years old. And the host, the owner of the house, is like, hey, say hi to Uncle Eddie. And she's like, hey, Uncle Eddie. And they talked a little bit. And then Eddie and I kind of get like a little break, 20 seconds alone. I'm like, you know him? I've never met anyone in my life. I'm like, how you Uncle Eddie? He's like, don't fucking ask me. Oh, dude, it was so uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, we can die together.
Yeah,
we can die together. Like God, murder-suicide pact.
Here we go. I'll shoot you, and then you shoot. Oh, fuck.
That was a fucking weird one, man.
But it was incredibly uncomfortable because first of all, you're not gonna outlift Eddie Coan in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you can.
So no matter what you say, it's not like you're gonna. Eddie cares, or are you going to be on the top of the chopping block? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And
I mean, this guy he walked me into the guest bedroom, whatever that was, and I'm told immediately that the window dressings, which I didn't even know was a thing at the time.
I thought it was just salads.
Yeah, $8,000 Island. I don't know.
Yeah, like $8,000 window dressings. Yeah. And the bed is like the best bed money can buy. It's $2,800 or whatever it is. You'll sleep well. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your window dress. Last week I slept under a boar head. What? But that's how this dude was, man. It's like, he would see Jim's G-Shock. I mean, what kind of watch is that?
Yeah.
It's a G-Shock. I use it all the time.
You ever see my watch?
You say, look at mine. I got an Omega, and I got two others. It's like,
do you know how much I know about watches? I know about this watch right here. I don't even know how to change, if it's, know how to change the time on this.
It's like a swatch, right?
Yeah. This thing spins, though. I don't know why.
And we're in this
That's
fucking...
the G.
We're in his office. I think it was an office or whatever it was. And Jim's in there, Ed's in there, and I'm in there, and this other guy's in here. And it was every goddamn thing. Every question was a leading answer from him.
Mm-hmm. It's like when people ask you what you would do to stop if you could go back in time, because they only want to tell you what they do. I'm like, just tell me what you want to do.
Yeah,
like, I know you're not going to listen.
We're trying to find any way out.
Yeah,
like, is there anywhere to eat? No, I can order something.
No. And then I want a loud restaurant.
It was fucked up, man. Then we did the seminar, wherever it was at. Then we got called back because shit wasn't put away. Well, shit wasn't put away or some shit. Like, it was, I don't know what we got called back. I remember we had to go back in and clean everything up. And it was shit that we didn't use. It's like, this is fucked up. That was a weird Uncle Eddie, though, is what I remember from
like that. Really rich people are fucking weird.
This I think was fake rich, though. I think that he was in debt rich.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he was bragging way too much.
Yeah.
Even for, maybe I haven't been around enough rich people that are, this is like fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, rich people I know aren't going to tell you that their window dressings were $8,000.
No.
It's just.
Well, they don't care.
But everything, it was everything. It was like the peas. Like, look, man, these are the best peas.
These are from Guatemala.
Yeah, I get my peas.
It's like, you understand I'm going to shit these out in about an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't even digest
them, man.